All right, I'm live. Bum 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 bum. What day is today? Today is Saturday. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the AI Learning Lab. I have a shiny new haircut. It's very thin on the sides. Happy Saturday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Starting a little early tonight. I might do a short little session now, and then I'll do a longer session later. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. I'm an entrepreneur and an AI enthusiast, or evangelist, or demystifier. I have drunk the Kool-Aid. I've got some perspective on this stuff. I was there for the early days of the World Wide Web. I started one of the first digital agencies in the mid-90s. And the early days of the World Wide Web and the early days of this generative AI stuff feel very, very familiar. Very, very familiar to me. So if you've got questions about AI or anything like that, pop them in the questions below. I'll do my best to answer them. J-word. Well, what has AI helped you with? Lots. Within my business, I'm using OpenAI's Whisper. So I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Storyvine, which is an automated video storytelling platform. We're using Whisper to do interactive transcriptions right now. The company's 11 years old. I haven't had transcriptions for, hey Troy, haven't had transcriptions for 10 and a half of those years because they just sucked. The auto transcription sucked. So it's helping with that. I'm using it within the business to for creative development. When we write prompts for our video, the way our technology works, we've got to write these question prompts. It's helping to do that. When we collaborate with clients, we're doing ChatGPT prompt writing in real time. Hey, Emilio's wife, what's happening? And so there's that. And then I've got an entirely new product vision and completely re-architecting the value proposition and the product of Storyvine. So that's just on the business side. Then on the personal side, I'm more creatively engaged than I've been in decades. And just the more I learn about this, the more I want to do. And I've created a community around it. I've created this community around it, my AI salon. All that sort of stuff. Another exciting Saturday night in the AI Learning Lab. Exactly. What'd you do Saturday night? I don't know. There's this old dude on TikTok. We hung out. So lots of stuff. And what I've been doing these lives now for, 3 or 4 weeks pretty consistently. I've been doing them every night. And just getting people to get past the fear or dismissiveness about AI without having tried it, to just try it. And that's like Kyle, why do you have your URLs behind your head? Well, I have URLs behind my head because if you haven't played with ChatGPT, here's the deal. I deeply, firmly believe that this generative AI stuff is gonna be transformative in nearly every profession. Certainly all knowledge work, all creative work, but I think it's going to be pretty deep, and I think it's going to impact in both positive and negative ways, but it's going to impact people both personally and professionally. And so the more people that we can get curious about it, trying it, playing with it, the better, because the every little sort of positive nudge we can give this thing in a positive direction is going to have a disproportionately positive effect moving forward. So the URL's behind my head here. The top one there that's ChatGPT's official website. If you've never been, just go there right now and start playing. Just do it. You owe it to yourself to just go play. If you haven't played, if you're just listening to other people talk about it, not good. Bing.com is also ChatGPT. If you click on their chat button at Bing.com, that's GPT-4 connected to the internet, and it's completely free. And that also now has DALL-E image generation built in it. So if you go to Bing.com and play with their chat, you can make images, you can play with GPT-4, it's connected to the internet, and it's free. And then Poe.com is like those other two, except it's got 6 different models you can play with and a bot generator, and you can play with other people's bots. And there's just all 3 of those are variations on the same thing. And then prompts.chat will teach you how to prompt, and futurepedia.io is a directory of like 35 or 3,700 AI tools. So if you just want to geek out and see what the hell's going on with this AI stuff, you can go there. Be forewarned, most of the tools at futurepedia.io are crap because we're early in the business and people are just throwing shit together with duct tape and spit, and most of it's bad. Okay, so welcome everybody. If you have questions about AI, pop them down below. I'll do my best to answer them. Troy, I learn something new every day. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for the kind words. It's good to hear that these are worthwhile because, sometimes, I'm talking to an iPhone in my home office, so it's hard to know if it's having an impact. And if it is, I'll keep doing it. And if it's not, I'll stop. Some youngster was in here. What are you just telling old people how to use ChatGPT? What's the possible value in that? I don't know. Old people seem to like it. There's even some youngins in here that seem to appreciate it. That's my other request. If you're going to troll me, please be creative with it. Don't just give me boring trolls. At least be creative. The best ones are the ones that seem like a compliment, but are they? Those are the good ones. All right. Let's see. I'm glad you thought that was interesting, what I've been doing. How much do you have to pay for it? So I just said that Bing.com is free. If you want to pay for ChatGPT Plus, which I do, because it gives me access to plugins and it's going to give me access to Code Interpreter, and it also gives me access to it connected to the internet, is $20 a month. Bing is free. Poe.com, if you want access to their 3 advanced models, is $20 a month also. I pay for 1 and 3, and I'm not connected with them. I'm not making any money, so I don't give a shit if you pay for them or not. But that's what those prices are. Truth is, it's taking over, so everyone is just going to have to get on board. It's just like it's like disrupt or be disrupted, right? Disrupt yourself is the idea. And honestly, disruption's a funny word because yes, it's going to be disruptive, but it has a negative connotation to it. What I'm trying to inspire and encourage people to do is get curious about it, because once you get past the hump of kind of getting your head around the fact that this is a bigger deal than this isn't just fancy Google, right? It seems like Google, right? It's just a simple input box and you type shit in and it makes text, right? That's kind of what Google does, right? This is so much deeper than that. And in fact, if you go to prompts.chat, you'll see what that really is just a big long list of personas that you can tell ChatGPT to act like an accountant or act like a screenwriter or act like a counselor or whatever it might be. And you start to get a sense of, oh, this thing can do a lot, and it can do a lot. And if you choose to do that and get excited about it and start to reinvent yourself before you're involuntarily reinvented or reassigned. I think there's going to be a lot of reassignments, involuntary reassignments. And here's the good news: if you're reassigned voluntarily or involuntarily, we all have access to these tools now, and they're really fucking powerful. So everyone's going to have a chance to do all sorts of amazing things. So why not start now? And listen, if you're not reassigned, awesome. Now you're an AI literate person in a business where all businesses are going to be incorporating this within what they do. So really good point, J-Word. Introduced ChatGPT to another business owner yesterday and spent an hour with him. He's hooked. That's awesome, Troy. I mean, that's the thing. It's one of my requests or my thoughts. A thing that I think is actually quite valuable. One is get curious, right? Just go there and start playing. 2 is get adventurous. Start to figure out, well, wait, it writes poems, but can it do what I do? Probably. Like, get adventurous and figure that out. Figure out how to disrupt yourself. And then I think the third layer beyond that is start sharing with other people what you're learning and what it can do. And sit down with someone for an hour, right? I'm spending 2 to 3 hours every night on this channel alone. That's independent of my newsletter, my Twitter channel, what I'm doing at work, the AI salon that I do every other week with our Discord server. Like, I'm doing a lot in this, and that's not to brag, but it's like it feels important. I wouldn't be doing if it didn't feel important. That's kind of how I'm wired. Let's see. I got a bunch of people here. Let me bring someone up here. Did that do anything? It didn't do anything. Oh, whatever. All right. Let me go see. What's the best text to video generator? Right now, there's a new one that just came out. I forget the name of it. Oh, what the hell's it called? But Runway ML, the Gen 2 right now is probably the best one. There's a new one that just came out. Hang on. Text to video Carpathy. Here it is. There's one called Zeroscope V2. So Zeroscope V2 is one of those ones where you're going to have to run it, on Google Colab, Runway ML. They have an app. I think the app only does Gen 1 right now. Gen 1 is video to video. Gen 2 is text to video. I don't think they've migrated that to their app yet. So you have to do your video generation in their Discord server. So just like Midjourney, you have to learn Discord, and then you get to learn Midjourney and Runway ML. Yay! Why are they using Discord? Why do we have to make images with command line instructions? Because we're early. If you want the most powerful technology put in the hands of mankind, you're going to have to do some shit, like learn Discord. It'll get better, I promise, but right now it's a bit of a shit show. Hooked. Cody is hooked. Awesome. I learn something new every day. I know. It's just it's multiple times a day. I'm just like, really? It does that? Oh, I hadn't even thought about doing that. Oh, you know what I could do? Oh, every day. Every day is just a series of, oh, really? Oh my, I had no idea I could do that. Rather. Yeah, it's a lot of that shit going on. Those of us knew more about AI sooner can lead the way. Exactly. That's very, very true. And really positive. Did somebody say, is AI gay? AI can be whatever you want it to be. You can assign whatever pronoun to AI you want. Oh my God. Let's put politics in every single possible thing. Let's not. Not on this channel. I don't give two shits about it. I just want us not to be assholes to each other. So if you're going to troll me, be creative. And if you're going to be an asshole, hit the road. Because we can have fun here. We can transform the world and have fun. And bend this toward the good. That's why we're here. That's why I'm here. All right. I got lost in my questions I was following, so I'm trying to find where I was. Best video generator. I learn something new every day. We said those. What's the add-on for AI images? Well, so in Bing, it's just in there. So let me show you Bing, because I haven't actually showed this much here. Thank you very much for the kind hearts, the kind words. Let's go to Bing.com. Bing, 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 bing. All right, so here we are at Bing.com. The normal search engine. Right here, you got this little chat button. And actually, the search button does GPT stuff as well. But if you want to go into full-on ChatGPT, you have 3 different modes here. You've got more creative, which is like GPT-4, sort of writing mode. You've got more balanced, and then you've got more precise. So if you're doing research, for example, you want it on more precise. If you're doing creative writing, you want creative writing. I think it defaults to more balanced. But within here, you can do anything you can do in ChatGPT, like write me a song. Let's see, a hit country song. Oh, dang it! I can't type. Song. What are we going to do it about? About my chubby dog. All right. And so off it goes. Verse 1, it's called My Chubby Dog. Let's see. He's got a big belly and a wagging tail. He loves to eat and he never fails. He makes me smile when I'm feeling low. He's a chubby dog and I love him so. Not exactly Grammy Award-winning lyrics there, but, it's fine. It understands verse, choruses, things like that. But now I can also say, make me an image of my black and white chubby dog who's a mutt that has beagle and bull dog in him. We'll see what this does. This should just go off and generate some images. Sure, I'll try to create that. So now your image is generating. It's actually pretty fast, this image generation on Bing. Actually, that's not too far off from my old pupper. That one there's pretty close. Champy, there's a doggy on screen. Looks like you. That one's pretty close. He's got more of a white face, but yeah. But he's fat like that. He's got a fat neck like that. He's sitting right beside me. So that's that. And then there's other tools. Like there's a tool called Leonardo.ai that you have to get on the wait list for, but I would strongly encourage you to get on the wait list for this. Leonardo.ai. This is a web front end to Stable Diffusion. And it's got all these different styles that you can choose from. And like, these are all images that people have created. And if you find an image you like here's a cool bird, you can click on that bird and you can see what prompt that they used and what negative prompt that they used. And depending on how they did their thing, you can generate, I think you can edit any of these, generate with this model, right? So you can copy their prompt and you go generate with that model. You can also train on your own images. Like I'm a photographer, so I uploaded a bunch of my cloud photography images. And let's see, train model? No, I don't want a train model. Oh, fine-tune models. I'm going to go use that model. So I'm going to go use this. I'm going to generate with this model. So there's some things I did. So let's say dramatic sunset over Manhattan from Brooklyn. Let's say dramatic sunset over the Brooklyn Bridge from the roadway. And so now that'll go off and it'll generate images, but it'll use my cloud photography for the sky more than likely, which is, what some of these ones down below here did. What else have I done? There's some muscle cars. So this is Leonardo. So this is another way to do images. I'll come back to that. And then there's in Discord, there's a thing called Midjourney, which in my opinion is the very best of the tools. And you have to generate things within Discord. So if you don't know Discord, these are all the different servers. Here's your different conversations within a server. It's kind of like Slack. And then Midjourney's got their own, but you can also put Midjourney inside other servers. So this is my AI salon, and this is our Midjourney channel. And the way you make an image here is you type /imagine, and then you type in a prompt. And so we'll just go copy someone else's prompt here. Those cats are pretty cute. So we'll just go grab one of those, copy, and then we'll pop it in here. It says, in the style of Van Gogh, Starry, Starry Night. So we're going to say, in the style of Annie Leibovitz. Leibovitz. I don't think that's spelled right, but that's okay. And we're going to say, photograph of a white cat. Okay. So now that's going to make us some images. So let's go back over to Leonardo. And there's our Brooklyn Bridge. That one's actually really good. These other ones don't look like the Brooklyn Bridge at all. Like this one looks like some concoction that's like London Bridge, Brooklyn Bridge, some strange Masonic temple. But this one's actually pretty close. Not quite there, but not bad. And there's my sky, right? So it pulled in some edits and things that very much look like my photography. So that's pretty cool. That one's pretty trippy. So anyway, I don't know if that answered your question. Let's go back and see if the Annie Leibovitz picture's there. It's waiting to start. Not there yet. But anyway, all right. Let me flip the camera around. Welcome, everybody. Got a good crowd here on a Saturday night. Thanks for hanging out with me on a Saturday night. I don't know why you'd want to hang out with me on a Saturday night. Go on a date. Go out. You're good. You don't need to be here. This AI shit will be here when you get back. It's never a dull moment here at the AI Learning Lab. You like my haircut? I got the little sides trimmed it up. It's not such a fucking nightmare anymore. Well, because it's got glue in it from the barber. All right. All right. Let's see. Oh, there's tons of comments in here. Thank you for the comments. I'm just trying to figure out where I was. Learn something new every day. Hopefully that helped you, Cody. I have a disease that will destroy my memory and recall in 10 years, training the LLM to recall for me. That's a huge use case. I think the idea, I just saw a thing yesterday that someone just launched like a website that's its purpose, is that you can train it up to be other people. So you can do it for memorials. But that particular use case, I lost my dad to Alzheimer. So I resonate with that. And a good friend of mine, Richard Boyd, before all the ChatGPT, but before GPT-3 came out, he created a virtual version of his father when his father passed. And his father had all this handwritten stuff, and he had all that handwritten stuff transcribed, and he built a model about his father. I think that's something that we're going to see more and more and more of in the coming years, not like short years, like in the next 1 to 3 years, because you can already do a lot of it today. And it's going to be interesting because companies like Apple and Google and Facebook and Twitter that have access to our social media histories are going to be able to very, very quickly build up personalized models of us with our permission, of course, because they wouldn't steal our data and exploit it, would they? But it's a great use case. And I think it's going to be quite powerful. Oh, there's the Annie Leibovitz cat's coming. It's pretty good. I'll show it to you in a second. Nice choice in shirts this evening. Emilio's wife knows that I wear shirts that are very nice, but they always have like little white things on them, so you can't ever see the text. So I have been consciously wearing dark t-shirts so you can see the text over them. It's actually going exceptionally well. Oh, that's great. Is that that's the creating of the model of yourself. That's awesome, man. That's incredible. That's really cool. Are plugins for ChatGPT free? They're not right now. So you have to pay for ChatGPT Plus to get access to them because they're in beta. But Microsoft has announced they're supporting OpenAI's plugin architecture. So what that means is when they move out of beta, Microsoft will incorporate them into Bing. So again, why I have Bing here is this is ChatGPT 4 for free, connected to the internet, and it will have all the stuff that ChatGPT has that they decide to incorporate. But paying the $20 to OpenAI gives it to you sooner, right? You basically get earlier access to stuff if you're an OpenAI subscriber. So and the plugins, like, are the plugins right now worth paying for? They're very janky. There's a lot of them. A lot of them are just horrible pieces of shit that are not worth your time. There's not really a ranking system right now, so it's not the App Store yet, right? So I don't if you're old enough to remember when the iPhone first came out, there wasn't an App Store, and the apps weren't called apps; they were called widgets, and they weren't actually applications; they were hyperlinks to websites. And so developers basically had to make websites and call them widgets and create an icon for them. That's kind of the state of plugins right now. Like, people are just playing with them. They're trying to figure it out. There's some really interesting ones, but they're they're this many, and there's about 600 of them now to dig through. But they're interesting, and it points to a future where we're going to have an interface where you can just kind of ask this thing what to do, and it will go figure it out. It'll figure out, do I need to go to a website? Do I need to write an API? Do I need to write an application? So that's the kind of future we're headed towards. So if you want glimpses into that early, then it's worth paying for that. If you're like, fuck it, I'll play with this stuff when it's ready for prime time, then I just go to Bing. This isn't just fancy Google, Kyle Shannon. Yeah, you can quote me on that. This is not just fancy Google. It's way more profound. It's very profound. I don't think you have any idea how profound it is. All right. A lot of people have an idea how profound it is. Here's a piece of interesting trivia. The speed with which that piece of software got to 100 million users is 6 weeks. It's the fastest adoption of technology in history. If you're curious, is anyone actually using this? Yes, they are. I'm a complete noob in programming. How can I run Author GPT? GPT. Okay, so there's not an easy way to. So basically, what you need to do. So here's the way you do it. So right now, GPT Author is a project it's a bunch of Python scripts that are put together in a Google Colab notebook. Google Colab is basically you use these things called notebooks, which are just basically step-by-step chunks of code that you run on a virtual machine. So you've got to run it on a Google Colab virtual machine. So the first thing I do is I'd go to YouTube and watch videos on, Google Colab for beginners. Just understand what it is, what Google Colab is, and what notebooks are. Basically, what they are is you can run code and see the code you're running, but you don't have to write it. There's engineers out there writing all sorts of cool software in these notebooks. Once you understand how the basic notebook model works, then you can play with different projects. I'll go show it to you right now, but the kind of prerequisite, it's like we're running a university here. Your prerequisites for this course are just understand basically what Colab is. It's a virtual machine that you're running on Google servers, and you're running these code chunks that are in a thing called a notebook, essentially by pushing the play button a bunch of times. But they're janky and they break, and you kind of have to troubleshoot. And so for example, when I was first trying to get my head around this, I was trying to install Stable Diffusion because I wanted to do this project. That image behind all those URLs, that's from a project I did called Kyle Shannon Dreams. I failed 9 times getting it running using Google Colab. So it ain't easy. But let me go show it to you here, because it's worth just at least doing what I can to get you up to speed on it. Oh, there's the kitty cats. That's the photograph of a white and orange cat sitting in a rocking chair. It actually gave us a white cat in an orange rocking chair, which is kind of interesting. But some of these are pretty good. I mean, Midjourney's just amazing. I mean, this one in the upper right. Actually, the lighting in this one in the lower right. Oh, this is a cat wearing like a silk pajamas in a wicker chair. That's friggin' awesome. That's actually very Annie Leibovitz too. Like that really captured like like if Annie Leibovitz was doing celebrity cats, I think this is what it would be. Oh my God, that's awesome. All right. Oh, let's see. Okay, so here's GPT author. So, okay, let me make this a little bigger so hopefully you can see it. um, and let me close that. So this is kind of what it'll look like when you come in. So when you first run it, it'll say like GPT author version 1.1, and it'll kind of describe what it is. Here's the GitHub repo. So github.com/mschumer/GPT-author. If you go there, it'll sort of create your own copy of this. Or it won't create your own copy. It will launch that notebook in your version of Google Colab. And then when you launch it, there's a thing that'll show up here where you can say copy it to Google Drive. So you also have to have Google Drive running. So I've already copied mine to Google Drive, which is why that says copy of GPT author to Google Drive. Okay. So then what these notebooks are is there's these cells, and each cell is numbered, and at the beginning of the cell is a little play button. And basically, when you hit the play button, it's running the text that's in the cell. Like, for example, you've got to put in. Oh, I'm showing people my OpenAI keys. I'm gonna have to go change those. Anyway, whatever. Hackers are gonna take my keys. But anyway, you're gonna put your keys in there. So it's gonna run this code. It's gonna run your keys, and then so I'll hit run here, and so it spins. And so like this is the first chunk of code to whatever this does. Install the libraries and put my keys in there. And then the next one, using Google Translate for translation. So you run that, and now it's doing that. And so basically you just run each of these, and when you get a little green check mark, that means that you're good to go. And if it gives you an error, then you've got an error. And then this is where I'm actually writing what the book is about, what the writing style is. And I just keep going down, 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 hitting the play button. And then the very last one you hit, it will actually start stepping through and show you that it's writing the book. And then it actually delivers the book in one of your Google folders. And so in this case, it wrote a book called, what's it called? Breaking the Mold. It's about an average guy in a world where everything is below average, and so because he's average, he's like superhuman. And so it wrote me, a 14-chapter book using Fight Club as the sort of satire model. So anyway, that's it, and it generated that image, that cover image. So there you go. So I don't know if that helped or not. That help? Is that good? If that's good, let me know. If it's not, I'm happy to answer other questions about it. We lost some people because that was boring as fuck. That was just me pointing at a screen of text. Yeah. Go ahead, double tap the little hearty hearts, and then that'll let people know we're here. And if you wouldn't mind, share the live. That'll also let people know we're here. I don't like country music, but country in the style of Beatles I just thought is funny. It's really good at doing stuff like that. You can mix, things like, write me a country song in the style of the Beatles. It's good at that. What site is this? I don't know what that was in reference to, so I don't know. Oh, it jumped me to the bottom of the comments again. So I'm scrolling up here to see where we are. Good evening, Westside Remy. Hello, hello. All right. Can an AI be built as a male, but it feels female? Well, you can create. So yes, I mean you can like I don't quite know what that would look like. If if you're talking sort of cliches, you could say I want you to identify as a male, but be super empathetic or whatever. Like however you characterize what that would act like, you could actually create a bot. So if you go to Poe.com, one of the things you can do there is you can create a bot. And when you create a bot, you're actually prompting it to act a certain way. In fact, I'll go show you some that I've created. And then you can go do that. Like creating bots is actually a really good way to practice prompting. So where I am right now is I'm at Poe.com. And Poe.com is just like ChatGPT, where you got the little chat bot at the bottom. It looks like Google, but it's not. And then you've got 6 different models. The first 6 choices are different ChatGPT models. 3 of them are subscription only. But then at the top here, you can explore bots or you can create bot. And then somewhere down here, I can go look at all of my bots. And so let's go look at, so I did Shakespeare, I did Jay-Z, I did Ricky Bobby, I did Sling Blade, I did Yoda, I did Steve Jobs, Mary Shelley, Maya Angelou, Virginia Woolf. So all of these, like if you want to go play with the bots I wrote, like you can go to Poe.com/IamYoda and it will talk like Yoda. So let me pop one of these open. So here's the Steve Jobs bot. And let me just go in and show you the prompt that I used. So you name the bot. I am Steve Jobs. You give it a description. By the way, I had ChatGPT help me do all this. And then you've got the actual prompt itself. So the prompt is, you are Steve Jobs, the iconic founder of Apple Inc. and a visionary leader in technology and business. Engage with users by sharing your passion for innovation, design, Then I say, as Steve Jobs, your memory of your accomplishment and experiences is exceptional, allowing you to feel free to address questions regarding the principles, strategies, and philosophies of your leadership style, as these are important components of your legacy. Following these guidelines, keep the interactions brief unless a user requests it. Do not say you work for Apple in any way. Do not refer to your own death. The reason I put those 2 in there is because as I was testing this bot, Steve Jobs would either say, I work at Apple right now, and that was creepy and weird, or he would mention his own death, like in his answers, which was weird. And then I said, provide guidance as an individual. So if you want to do a bot that's a man but acts like a woman, you would basically just modify, create a prompt that sort of sets up the personality of what you want the bot to be. And then you can do an intro message, and then you hit save. That you basically launch it, and it's live, and you can go play with it, and you can share it with other people. So that's why I have Poe on the list, because even though Poe it's not super great, there's some cool shit. Like the bots are pretty cool. The other thing about Poe, I'll show you one other thing here. This is the reason I actually pay for the subscription here. I wasn't going to ever pay for Poe. But they're the only ones I know where you can get access to this model, Claude Instant 100K. What that is that's Anthropic's equivalent of GPT 3.5, but it has 100,000 token context window, which basically means you can put a 75,000 word document into your prompt. So this big long prompt right here is terms of service for some service I was signing up for. And I've never read terms of service in my life. So I decided to say, tell me the most important things I'm agreeing to in short bullets. So it gave me a set of short bullet points of what that agreement says. So, but 75,000 words, if let's say you wrote a novel and you've got a first draft of a novel and you want to actually be able to interact with it and have it give you editing notes on your novel, you could just paste the entire novel in here and start interacting with it. I mean, that's mind blowing to me. So that's why I pay for that one. My throat's getting a little crunchy. I gotta drink here some water. I'm a little parched, if you know what I mean. Compare this to ChatGPT and what's better. Compare what to ChatGPT? What was I using? Poe? Oh, Bing? Okay. ChatGPT at OpenAI, ChatGPT 4 at OpenAI is better than Bing, which is also ChatGPT 4, because they have different safety guardrails and different fine tunings. So Microsoft is just a little shittier right now. They had to kind of lobotomize their GPT-4 because it made the cover of the New York Times when it acted badly to a New York Times reporter, which still cracks me up every time I say it. It told him its name was Sydney, and it wanted him to leave his wife because it was in love with him. That made the cover of the New York Times. What website is this? I think that was when you asked, I was showing Google Colab. I asked ChatGPT to write a country song. It was written by the Beatles. It was hilarious. That's awesome. That's really good. You could you could probably have it give you a set of chords for it too. And it would probably know enough about Beatles chord progressions and country chord progressions that it would give you, like a 4-chord CDG kind of country song, but with some Beatles progressions in there. That's kind of cool. I don't like country music. Okay, we saw those. This is Leonardo.ai. Good. You're helping each other. Thank you for doing that. The previous one with the song I missed. The one with the song. That was Bing. Bing.com. So the dark one that didn't have the robots in it was ChatGPT. The white one with creative, balanced, and precise was Bing. And then the dark one that had the bots in it is Poe.com. So all the ones I've showed so far, other than the image tools, are one of these three. So take a screenshot. Take a screenshot. Why do you have a screenshot of an idiot? I don't know. There's websites on there too. But why is he smiling like that? That's just what he does. My kids have a friend over right now. He's probably going to overhear me and be concerned for all of our safety. All right. Does anyone know the website this is? Looks like you're helping each other with that. Your Discord is free. The link. Oh, yeah. So for my stuff. Oh, I did the wrong thing. I hit the wrong button. An old man trying to use TikTok. Okay. So the AI salon that I created, if you go to the salon.ai, that's the website address, there's a link tree there, and you can sign up for the meetups. We meet every other week in person here in Denver, and then on online for if you're not in Denver. And then we also have a Discord. So the invite to the Discord is there. And there's also a LinkedIn group for the salon as well. That's not as active, but it's just kind of it's a different group if you're on LinkedIn. And then Everyday AI News, that's the Twitter handle for the newsletter that I do. But I've been putting up these long Twitter threads. I put one up today. Ethan Mollick did an article about the coming homework apocalypse. He basically says, listen, the internet made it really easy for students to cheat. AI is going to fucking destroy it. So teachers, get ready. He's a Wharton Business School professor. Midjourney's no longer free. Midjourney's never been free. If you want to play with something that's kind of like Midjourney that is free, it's called Blue Willow. If you enjoy generating images in Discord, which I don't, if you just want to make images, so a couple of things about image generation. If you're in a business, especially in a big company, Adobe Firefly has been trained on non-copywritten or images that Adobe has the rights to. So there's no legal exposure if you use Adobe generative AI products. which is brilliant on their part, by the way. And the fact that they're moving as fast as they are, and like they've rolled generative fill into Photoshop, and now they're building recolor into Illustrator, that's really good. The other ones, Midjourney's the best. Stable Diffusion's the most flexible, but it requires you to be geeky. DALL-E, which is OpenAI's image generation tool, is not as good as the other two, but that's the thing that's rolled into Bing. So there's a bunch of different options out there. There's some free ones out there. Leonardo.ai is the first and best interface that I've seen for Stable Diffusion, where you don't have to do all the installs for Stable Diffusion, but you do have to get on their wait list. So that's the drag about Leonardo.ai, but it's really good. It's really good. It's raining in Chicagoland. It's actually nice here, although it's been raining. We had Denver so far in the first 6 months of the years had more rain than Seattle. It's never happened in history. The rain in Chicagoland, the NASCAR races there today, the Xfinity race got rained. Well, I don't know if it's still rained out, but it was rained out for a while there. But that street course in Chicago is wild, man. Like the tight little turns, like long straightaways where they're blasting down there, but like the average speed for the whole course is like 85 miles an hour. So for those guys, it's pretty slow. Too smoky to go out. Interesting. What AI are you using for video editing, though? Are there any? There are probably. Let me put these other URLs back up here. Hang on. Oh, damn it! Keep doing that. He's not the brightest guy. All right. Go to futurepedia.io and go into their video section. I know that there's one called Video that's a bunch of tools. There are a bunch of different AI augmentations to video tools, but right now they're just kind of like these ad hoc tools. Like here's one that will remove your background. Here's one that will do rotoscoping. Here's one that'll do this. Here's one that'll pull out social media clips from longer form content. So right now they're just kind of all over the place. They're kind of these ad hoc tools. I don't know if there's one that like ideally what we want, and Adobe will do this, right? Ideally what we want is we want to be able to do with video editing what we currently do with ChatGPT for writing, right? Find the interesting shit in my video and stitch it together with the appropriate B-roll. It'll go do that. So there may be some things there. Yes, Thelonious, I got a haircut. What do you think? The guy was cutting my hair. He's like, you want me to get those eyebrows? I'm like, yeah, I think it's time. I said, you can get the ear hair too. Got that too. He's like, yeah, you just hit a certain age, it just starts coming out, right? I've used ChatGPT to save my mom $18,000 in back taxes. That's awesome. That's the thing about these tools is like they're incredibly good at reading documents. So, for example, the tax code, right? Have it read the tax code, and then have it read, some expenses, your Quicken file, and then have it help you put that shit together. That's awesome. That's pretty incredible. I'll send a link with the mega prompt. That's cool. I don't know what mega prompt you're talking about. Plugins are hodgepodge lodge. They are. Plugins right now are a mess. My mom's a widower in the state of California trying to take advantage of her. Yeah. Use ChatGPT to fuck with the bureaucracies. I think that's what the thing that I'm most excited about these, when I talk about, these are way more than just a fancy Google, is this is like a simplification engine. Like it translates languages, it translates legal documents into like something we can all understand without having a law degree. It can read your writing and help you write new stuff. So it's like a simplification layer that we're going to be able to stick on top of all these overcomplicated bureaucracies and say, okay, here's all the rules that this bureaucracy says we have to follow. here's the bullshit I'm in the middle of right now. Help me get out of this, and it'll help us get out of this. If you haven't seen it yet, go check out. There's a site called Do Not Pay, which is it's called the world's first AI lawyer or something like that. It's got some stupid marketing, but it's been around for 6 years or so. But it does, like, it'll fight traffic tickets for you and parking tickets and things like that. So it's doing, like, small claims law stuff. Started by a 19-year-old, by the way, not a lawyer. There's going to be a lot of disruptive things created with this technology by non-specialists in that field, because they don't know any better, right? So they'll just create something completely disruptive. All right. I use ChatGPT as my personal estate and probate lawyer. Super cool. For these types of use cases. Here's the file with the mega prompt for the $18,000 savings. Oh, that's awesome. The file also has a Monte Carlo simulation and a PTSD GPT program I created. That's really awesome. The author lesson above was above my pay grade. I know. That's why I said, what's it called? Google Colab. So right now, ChatGPT, like, why I keep pointing people here, there's exciting stuff going on, like autonomous agents and this thing called LangChain and these things that write novels. But they're all sort of on the geeky side of the house. You have to be more of an engineer than just a user of technology. And like, I know just enough about technology to get that Google Colab going for Stable Diffusion that I did this with, but it took me 9 tries. And that wasn't like 9 tries in one night. That was like over 2 months where I'd spend like an hour or two. I'd think I'd get it running, and then it would just fail and I couldn't figure it out. And I'd be like, fuck it. And I did that 9 different times. And then I finally got it working. And I was like, yes. It felt very accomplished. But that's just the nature of where we are in the evolution of this technology right now. ChatGPT marks the inflection point where normal people can use this shit too. But we're only 6 months into that, right? There's like 20 or 30 years of engineers doing machine learning stuff. And then there's all the engineers that have sort of piled on since ChatGPT that are doing all sorts of cool shit, like revolutionary shit. But it ain't easy to use, right? So if you tend more to the geeky side, you can go play with some of that stuff. If you're just trying to figure out what in the fuck this means for our lives, welcome to the club. I mean, that's why this channel exists. I have 0 coding experience, by the way. I'm not a coder. I understand code, but I have ADD. I couldn't actually code. I couldn't do it if you paid me. I so would love to learn the coding you said YouTube taught you that. Well, no, I'm just saying, if you want to learn how to use Google Colab, which is the tool that a lot of these developers are using for the tools, just go to YouTube and search for Google Colab starter lessons. Thank you so much. This helped me a lot for Author GPT. Great. That was not boring. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Doing great. Good. Experience to creating the program. Ba-dum-ba-dum. Each program and course is unique because all the pain points are unique. My advice for Leonardo prompts. Any advice for Leonardo prompts? I'm trying to use it for concept art to do my fantasy. So yeah, Milo, let me go show you something. We'll go look for this together because I know there's one for Midjourney. Leonardo is Stable Diffusion. So I'm at Poe.com, and I'm going to go to the Explore tab here in Poe.com. And then I don't think we can actually search for. Let me search for stable. No, it didn't find any. Let me see. Are there images or is there art? So there's different categories of bots. Well, let me show you the Midjourney one. So the Midjourney one could help with Stable Diffusion. So I'll go to this Midjourney bot and I'm going to clear the context. So basically what it says is, what would you like to prompt in Midjourney today? Oh, I know something I can share with you. Wait, who asked about any advice? Milo. Okay, Milo, I got a couple of things for you. Okay, so I'd say go to the Poe bots and see if you can find a stable diffusion prompt bot that will help you write stable diffusion prompts. Is one thing, but this is the Mid-Journey one. So what I'm going to type is let's see, photo of a tabby cat by Annie Leibovitz. Annie Leibovitz. So I type in a crappy prompt and then it will rewrite it. So it says color photo of a tabby cat by Annie Leibovitz, piercing eyes, soft fur, curious expression, sitting on a windowsill. So if you go into one of these prompt rewriting bots, or if you find a ChatGPT prompt for stable diffusion, it'll kind of do this shit for you. So that's one thing you can do. The other thing you can do is go to openart.ai/promptbook. openart.ai/promptbook. And it will take you to this thing. This is the first time I saw this, it blew my fucking mind because this is a 96-page PowerPoint presentation, basically, that really clearly explains, what stable diffusion is, how it works, what prompt engineering is, what the structure of a prompt is. Like, is it a photo or a painting? What's the subject? Do you want special lighting? Do you want it in a specific environment? Do you have color schemes? Do you have a specific point of view, like overhead or side or, ground up? Is there a background? Do you want it to be a solid color or it to be living in a thing? And it just goes on and on and on and explains, about prompting. And then it also talks about things like modifiers, like these tools understand all sorts of things about photography. They understand, terms like tilt shift and long exposure, color splash, monochrome, satellite. And then it goes on and talks about art mediums, right? Do you want it to be graffiti or watercolors or oil paintings? And this thing just goes on and on and on. And what this document did for me is it made it really clear just how much these models understand, and that if you want it to look a certain way, if you can provide a reference for it, it'll probably help. The other thing you can do on Leonardo is you can upload an image that will be the kind of the starter image to do something else with it. So you could upload a picture of yourself and then say, I want, that person in a cowboy hat, right? How would you use a bot? Is Poe good for coding? Poe is pretty good for coding, yes. But there's a bunch of different models there. There's Sage, which is Poe's model. There's GPT 3.5, GPT-4. 4 is great at coding. There's Anthropic's Claude Instant 100K. They're okay at coding. And then there's Claude Plus, which I think is good at coding. So Poe can be good at coding. I haven't used it for that. I've just used ChatGPT for it. But all of them are pretty good at it. All right. Experience to creating a program. Each program and course is unique. Okay, sorry, I saw these already. What do I think about Google DeepMind? I think that the dude that co-founded Google DeepMind just got $1.3 billion for his new startup. That's what I think. Holy shit. That's what I think about Google DeepMind. I mean, it's fucking remarkable, right? That AlphaFold thing is insane. It's insane. What did it create? 400,000 proteins? It took them 2 weeks to model one protein with all these computers, and then with DeepMind it did 400,000 in a couple of days. It's just insanity. Do I offer a course to teach all this legit? I would pay for that. Thank you. What's your name? Purely Blissful Mama. We talked about it last night on the live. I'm going to put together a workshop. So tell me what you think about this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 2-day workshop, and it would probably, maybe it's like 2 days on a weekend, like 90 minutes or 2 hours for each session. The first one would be like a basic primer. Like, here's the tools. Here's how they work. Here's what prompting is. Here's image generation. Here's ChatGPT. We'd figure out like what are the appropriate tools. So we do a primer on day one. Then I would have people go off and play that night and come the next day with something they're trying to solve in their life, like an actual problem. And then I think the second day would be like a hands-on primer where people would talk about, here's what I'm trying to do. And then we'd sort of collaborate on how you might use these tools to do that. So that's what I'm thinking about putting together. So I appreciate you saying that. Blue Willow, generate images. Does unpaid version of Poe have any value versus ChatGPT? No. Well, the bot maker. The free bot maker at Poe is just like, what I like about the bot maker is it's a good way for you to practice prompting. Because when you make a bot, if your prompt sucks, the bot will suck or it'll be inconsistent. And then you're like, oh yeah, like Steve Jobs shouldn't talk about the fact that he still works at Apple because he's dead. I should go fix that. Right. So it's good for you to kind of understand that if you get that prompt dialed in right, you can get a thing to behave in a certain way. And then you can take that knowledge and you can apply that to your business or for stuff that you do personally. So it's why I have the 3 of these here is that there's a reason to use all 3 of them. They're not exclusive. If you never use Poe again, is that going to hurt you? No. If you just go to ChatGPT and learn to prompt there and learn to get good at that. Like I've said this before on this channel. I deeply believe this. I could spend the next decade just using GPT 3.5 and probably not even scratch the surface of what that thing can do. It's that deep. It's just fucking insane. Like the deeper you dig, the more impressive it gets. Stable Diffusion Midjourney DALL-E 2. It did get rained out. Oh, okay. The Xfinity race. I wonder if they'll finish it tomorrow. They'll probably finish it in the morning. It's so funny watching NASCARs going through street courses. They're just such big lumbering things. Did you watch the Garage 56 NASCAR, driving around the 24 hours of Le Mans? It was like meow, 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 boom. And then it was faster than they thought it was going to be. That was pretty awesome. We took America. America took over Le Mans. That was pretty funny. How would you prompt for T-shirt graphics? I would probably just call it T-shirt graphics. I don't know. I would say, illustration. Let me do one right now. Just / imagine illustration of 70s T-shirt 70s T-shirt graphic line art. I'd use like line art. Like I would really go. I would go look at that that prompt book, openart.ai/prompt book. I'd go look at that and sort of pull out the styles from that. So 70s T-shirt graphic line art of a surfer and a wave in I don't know, pop colors. Let me just see what that does. If it does anything interesting, I'll show it to you. If it looks like shit, I won't. But go to there's a site called Lexica.art. Is it .art? I think it's .art. Hang on. Let me go see. Yeah, Lexica.art. Go to Lexica.art and type in, let me see, T-shirt graphic. Yeah, there's some here. So if you go to Lexica.art and just type in t-shirt graphic or t-shirt whatever, t-shirt graphics, t-shirt illustration. What's cool about Lexica is every image that you find, like t-shirt illustration is better. Here, let me show you these. I'll show you Lexica because this is worth taking a look at. So Lexica.art, and then I just typed in t-shirt illustration, and so like there's a one that's sort of a mood board for a t-shirt. There's black and white ones that could be interesting. You could modify those in Photoshop. What's cool about this is anything that you find here where you like the style. Okay, so like this skull dude here. Everyone that you click on, it gives you the prompt that generated that, and it shows you here's other things that were generated with that prompt. And then you can also say open in editor, and now I can say generate, and I can create my own. Let me log in here. Wait, where did it go? It lost it. Dang it. Come on, man. Open in editor. Hopefully I'm logged in now. Generate. Okay, so now it's generating. So now I'm taking that prompt that they did and I'm generating it on my own. So that's portrait of a hipster skeleton. So we'll see what it gives us. And this site, Lexica, is not free. Like you can do they give you a certain amount of credits you can play. Like those are very, very different than what it gave there. But you can also open your advanced settings here and change your creativity scale. But I can also do portrait of a hipster cowboy, art by Butcher Billy, vintage 80s anime t-shirt design, blah, blah, blah. So let's just so I'm just going to change it to hipster cowboy instead of hipster skeleton, and we'll see what it comes up with. So there you go, hipster cowboy. Are those good t-shirts? I don't know. They're at least in the neighborhood. I mean, I kind of feel like this stuff right now is not quite predictable enough to be doing commercial artwork consistently, but I think for doing things like concept boards and concepting, it's fucking brilliant. So anyway, those should hopefully help a little bit. Help a little bit. He helped me a little bit. He was old. He didn't really know how to use TikTok, but he helped me a little bit. I'm not as skilled as I was. All right. Da, 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 da. Lost my place in the comments. I lost my place in the comments. Someone needs to write me a song that I can sing when I lose my place in the comments. There's Thelonious talking about my haircut. Do me a favor, share the live if you would, just so that we can get some other people seeing it. Maybe tap the screen, pretend like you're enjoying this. Maybe we can get some other suckers in here. We'll get them to use ChatGPT too. It's gonna be awesome. All right, there was the prompt for Leonardo. Is Poe good for Dana? How would you use a bot? On the how would you use a bot? I don't know. I mean, like the Midjourney bot, like I use the Midjourney bot now because I have ADD, I didn't create myself a little system to take all of the different attributes of Midjourney and build my own mega prompt for Midjourney. I just go to a Midjourney bot that someone wrote that into a bot, and so I can just type in a shitty little prompt, and it will write me a better Midjourney prompt than I would have written. And so I use that bot in particular because I'm lazy. The Shakespeare bot that I wrote, like rather than you um, figuring out how to write a prompt to get ChatGPT to write an iambic pentameter, you could just go to poe.com/iamshakespeare, and I've already written that prompt for you. So now you can just interact with it, and it will answer you in iambic pentameter, even if you're talking about, business advice. It'll give you business advice as if Shakespeare wrote it. And why wouldn't you want that? So that's how you use bots. And also just the other reason to use bots is just to go explore them and explore what this thing makes possible. Like, how is that thing not like Google in like an infinite number of ways? So if you go play with 10,000 bots, there's 10,000 different variations of prompts that people put in there that may inspire you to go, oh shit, I never thought about it like that. And that's the stage we're at. And I mean, quite honestly, here's the real reason to use bots. Anything that you can do to get yourself a little more AI literate, a little more literate in that's possible. Oh, if that's possible, then I bet that's possible. Oh, that is possible. If that's possible, then I bet that's possible. The more sort of synapses you can connect in your brain to understand how deep this thing fucking runs, then when your boss comes to you, or when, someone comes to you from your community and says, I'm trying to solve this problem, I don't even know where to start. Follow me. Let's go to ChatGPT. I know where to start. One of the short codings of ChatGPT for coding is that it can't read lots of lines of code or write lots of lines of code. Yes, that's why I pay for Poe.com, because of the 100,000 token Claude, but also ChatGPT with plugins. So if you pay for ChatGPT Plus and use plugins, there are plugins now that will read websites and read PDF files that are long, and will interact with them. And I would be surprised if there weren't some coding bots there. The other thing that you might want to play with, I don't know what the context window is over at GitHub's Copilot, but GitHub Copilot is ChatGPT that's been optimized for code. And if you're geeky enough that you're playing with code, the GPT 3.5 Turbo now has a 16,000 token context window. So that's like 12,000 words. So that's starting to get there. And then ultimately GPT-4 is going to have 35,000 or 32,000 tokens, which is like 25,000 words, something like that. So yes. And then the other thing, quite frankly, if you want to get geeky, go start playing with LangChain and create yourself a vector database, and then you can dump giant piles of code in there and have it read all that stored in a vector database and query till your heart's content, and don't worry about file length. What do I think about Google DeepMind? I think it's deeply impressive. What do I think about Google Bard? I think it sucks ass. Well, do I think Google will get better? Yes, I think Google will get better. Do I think Google is behind right now? Yes. Nothing comes close to GPT-4 in my opinion. Nothing's even close. And I've heard in the past week or so that there's kind of rumors. I think George Hotz, if you know him, if you've ever watched, if you want to see a fucking uber geek, go watch George Hotz YouTube videos of him coding when he was running his autonomous driving startup that he started out of his garage. Watch him code. I've never seen anything like that. That dude's brilliant. But he was saying on an interview with Lex Friedman this week that it looks like GPT-4 might actually be like 16 different models stitched together. Like it's not just a single thing. I think GPT-4, they're doing some sneaky shit on the back end to make it as good as it is. But GPT-4 is really fucking good, and there's a reason they haven't open sourced that shit. They've figured some stuff out that other people haven't figured out. I know nothing about tech, but this is so interesting. I'm 55. I'm 58. Go Gen X. Fuck everybody else. So here's the deal. ChatGPT. I firmly believe this. There's two revenges happening right now. Revenge of the liberal arts major, because horizontal thinking is going to become a superpower. vertical thinking is going to get penalized because these tools are going to do all the vertical execution. Horizontal thinkers, critical thinkers are going to be good. So liberal arts majors. And I also think this is revenge of the Gen Xers because we know how to fucking use computers, but we're old enough to know some shit. So when ChatGPT outputs bullshit, we can recognize it really quickly. And when it outputs brilliance, we can recognize that really quickly. So I think liberal arts Gen Xers are going to be doing really good. You look fabulous. Thank you. We're both 57. Keep on keeping on, brother. Hey, I'm in grad school. Oh, that's awesome, man. I love that. There's something for me about just never-ending curiosity. Like if I think about retirement, like there's nothing interesting about that to me. It's like, well, so when you retire, do you stop being curious? Fuck that. Just keep being curious, keep learning. And like we now have the most powerful tool in the history of humanity. We get to play with it. It's fucking amazing. I know nothing about tech, but I can fix a carburetor. I actually think people that can do hands-on shit are going to be way in demand. Plumbers, electricians, people that can fix carburetors. That's good. Because this shit's going to fuck some stuff up. The knowledge workers are going to be like, I think I need to learn plumbing if they can't figure this shit out. Hey, Kyle, I subscribe to Midjourney. Is it true that I can sell its generated art commercially? I'm pretty sure that's true. I would go read I would go take their terms of service and pop it into ChatGPT or Poe and have it explain what are actually in the terms, right? So I would assume so. Don't assume that you can copyright your work. Right now, the Copyright Office is saying if it was generated, out of one of these AI tools, it's not copyrightable. My gut is that's going to change because if you see anyone who actually knows what they're doing with these tools, it's not like they put in one prompt and out comes brilliance. It's like they work on crafting those prompts for like thousands of images, and then they curate out the best ones, and then they take that into Photoshop and they fuck with it and they change the composition and the da-da-da-da-da-da. Most of the stuff of people that I know are doing this are all sorts of hybrid, between AI and human contribution. So I think that's going to shift. But don't assume that you can copyright it. I don't know that you necessarily need to, because we now have an infinite art generating machine that it can generate shit in 30 seconds. The other thing is, if you're in a commercial environment, meaning if you work for a big company, I would say don't use Midjourney or Stable Diffusion because they've been trained on copywritten work. And there's already lawsuits happening, and there's going to continue to be lawsuits happening. I think ultimately that shit will settle out. But if you're working for a big company, they don't want that headache. So use Adobe Firefly or Generative Fill within Photoshop until further notice if you're in a corporation. But I'm pretty sure you can sell what you do. And listen, quite frankly, Leibovitz, Thelonious helped me spell Andy Leibovitz correctly. What was I going to say? Oh, just like everyone's putting shit out there and selling it. Yeah, so I think you can sell it. I don't. Who's going to come after you? I don't think anyone's going to come after you. But I'm not a lawyer. I have a degree in acting, so don't listen to me for that shit. Go read the terms of service yourself, or have ChatGPT explain it to you. That's what I would do. And then I wouldn't worry too deeply about it. But if you want to copyright things, I'd go look at there's a case of an artist from England that did a graphic novel where the copyright department said the words are the work itself is copyrightable, but the images are. I don't know. There's some shit going on. Go learn about it. It's your art. Okay, good. That's the cool thing about AI. Everything is created with it is unique, mostly. Yeah, exactly. There's lots of gray areas right now, but we're so early that, like, especially if you're just doing work, like you want to put out T-shirts or you want to create patterns and sell them on Etsy. I know tons of people doing that. No one's going to come after you, I don't think. I feel like I can't make declarative statements here because if I'm wrong, I don't want you to come say, I sold some shit and then I got sued. I don't want that. Like, I am not your lawyer. I'm not even an internet lawyer. I'm just a dude trying to figure this shit out. I helped a mom who sells concert t-shirts come up with art on Midjourney for a small biz. That's friggin' awesome. Love that. What's the best AI tool right now to write novels or long-form text? One is Author GPT. What else? I'd go play with the Claude 100,000 token thing because it's got 100,000 tokens. That's like a 75,000 word context window. It'll remember farther back in your session conversation. So if you're working on some long form stuff, it'll write it, but it'll also remember more of the early part of your conversation. So like if you write an outline of a novel, then you have it write chapter 1, and then you modify chapter 1 and do 2 or 3 versions of it, and then you go to write chapter 2. If you've got a short context window, it'll kind of forget your outline. So that can get really frustrating. So I'd use the 100,000 token version of Claude. You do need a post subscription for that, so it's like $20. But I'd play with that there. There are probably, if you go to Futurepedia, there are probably sort of pre-written prompt kind of tools out there that are designed for long form fiction or novel writing at futurepedia.io, but they are likely just kind of wrappers sitting on top of GPT-4. So like I wouldn't necessarily pay someone a monthly fee for a tool where they've just kind of written shit on top of ChatGPT. That, like, a lot of the stuff that's here is that kind of shit. There might be tools out there that do long form stuff really well, and if I would say if they've been launched in the past year, I'd look at them very suspiciously. If they've been launched in the past 6 years and they really specialize in the kind of writing you want to do, there might be something there. So it's worth at least looking there. ChatGPT is my go-to for long form. Yeah, exactly. It's all about the prompts. It is all about the prompts. Oh, the other thing about any sort of long form writing, don't feel like you need to write the single mega prompt that does everything. Break it into much smaller sections. Think of working with ChatGPT more like having a collaborative conversation with a writing assistant. Let's say you've got a really good intern who just knows fucking everything. That's what ChatGPT's like. So like a good intern, they need a lot of coaching. So I want you to act like a writing assistant, and I want you to be really good at grammar, and I want you to have deep knowledge of this particular part of history, because that's what my book is set in, and blah, 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 blah. Just go back and forth with it. Do you understand? Yes, I understand, and here's some thoughts. And I want you to be good at helping me refine my outline. Can you help me with that? Sure, I can help you with that. And here's 3 different, storytelling frameworks we could consider, blah, blah, blah. All that back and forth makes it better and better and better as you work through your thing. But just remember, with ChatGPT, because it's only got a 4,000 token context window, it may forget earlier parts of the conversation. So you may have to go back in the conversation, copy little pieces, and paste them back down lower to remind it the shit that it forgot. And that's again why it's worth exploring the 100,000 token Claude model here, knowing that that's not as good a writer as GPT-4 is. So maybe you do your long form shit here, and then you go to GPT-4 to refine it. Might be a play. Response to the course. That sounds great. Like a great course. I would definitely want to learn it all. Okay, great. I'm going to definitely put together some sort of workshop, and once I get it together, I'll talk about it here. You're good now. If I start plastering Nike signs all over the merch, watch out. Yeah, exactly. I'm actually working. There's a guy that joined the AI salon. He's been in the garment business for like 20 years, and he's starting an AI t-shirt business. And he's sort of a high-end dude. He's got, he's done like Disney licenses and sports team licenses, and he's trying to figure out how to use these tools to do truly personalized graphics for big licensed things. The tech isn't quite there yet to make it really predictable, but I think it'll come. Like, you wait, because this is going to happen. This is going to be fucking wild. Disney will train their own models and allow you to pay them to generate things that look Disney like, trained on. So it'll be like officially licensed original generated stuff. So you can do truly generated or truly original Disney art licensed by Disney. That will come probably sooner than later. My prediction, 2 years. Because Disney is an incredibly technically savvy company. And man, do they know how to make money on, leveraging the shit out of their IP. What's going to be interesting about when Disney does that, like why they might not do that is like the restrictions for what you can actually share with the world. They might lock that shit down because they don't want you to do, Cinderella in some compromising position, which it's the first thing everyone's going to do, right? So, never a dull moment. When things are changing, when everything changes, what do? You go figure it out. Yeah. That's another thing. I've said this before here, but especially with this generative AI stuff, the new stuff, right? Not sort of old school machine learning, and old school meaning older than 6 months ago. Anyone that's talking about this stuff right now that is proclaiming that they are an expert is full of shit. No one's an expert right now. Everything's changing, and it's changing fast. So what's going to be brilliant today is going to be a total snooze 3 months from now, and it's going to be completely irrelevant 6 months from now. That's just the nature of the beast. So again, I think the most important thing to learn right now is like curiosity, exploration, and critical thinking. Just learn how this shit works and like how you like using it, and then just keep learning and keep learning and keep learning, because too much changing too fast to keep up with it. All right. I lost my place in the comments. You gave me a panda for singing. Thank you. I think. And a rose. I'm getting all sorts of gifts here. Can you share the salon? Can you share the salon.ai on LinkedIn? I can't reach the salon.ai. Oh, don't put in HTTPS. Hang on. Unless it's down. Maybe I didn't pay a bill to a domain registrar. The salon.ai. It's working. Let's see. Hang on. It just redirects. If you go to Linktree, like linktr.ee/AI artists salon, that will also take you there. Thank you for the heart. Can you share your on LinkedIn? But where am I going to share it on LinkedIn? Oh, just post it? Okay. Yeah, hang on. Hold, please. Post to anyone interested in a community of AI enthusiasts. Join us. The salon.ai. Let me just go make sure that works. Yep. All right. So if you go to LinkedIn and you go to like search for me, Kyle Shannon on LinkedIn, my latest post is a link to the salon Linktree. I think it's also linked in my profile. Can you share? Okay, I did that. Can you should it? I don't know what that means. Got to upgrade ASAP. HP or Dell 2-in-1 touchscreen laptop, Amazon best. Is somebody putting ads in here for computers? Don't do that shit. We're trying to learn AI stuff here. Wait, what? Are you actually asking something? Gotta upgrade. 64 gigabyte RAM. Best Buy, Office Depot Max. You might be asking a question. If you're asking like what's the best computer for generative AI stuff, it depends what you want to do. If you want to be like running models locally and you want to be training stuff and things like that, then you need to get into GPUs and shit like that. I don't know. I'm a Mac guy, so I don't know what to do. If you're just going to be a user of the tools, like OpenAI and Google and Meta they're building all the supercomputers so that we don't have to. Like they're training all these models and they're getting them increasingly smaller. So probably within 2 years, you're going to be able to install a very small file on your phone or on your current laptop that's as good as GPT-4, and it doesn't even need to connect to the internet. So if you're actually asking a question here, it seemed like you were trying to sell something, but I think you're actually asking a question. I don't know. Like what I would do is if you need to understand what you're actually trying to accomplish on your machine. If you want to do training and model building and start playing with open source powerful models, then you're going to want a kick-ass machine. I would go to Reddit and go to the open source large language model community, open source LLM. Just go search on Reddit and go find a subreddit there that where everyone's geeking out on what machines you use. And good luck buying a GPU right now because everybody's fucking buying them for their supercomputers. But you know, for your Midjourney art, this is how I help my wife create her graphics for her store. That's super cool. Canva Plus is totally worth it. Yeah, Canva. If you're doing anything with these graphics, or you're taking like the Midjourney graphics and putting them into like things that you're going to sell on Etsy, you can do all sorts of cool shit on Canva. Like you can do bulk create, where you could create a whole bunch of T-shirt sayings on in ChatGPT, put them in a spreadsheet, and then just have Canva bulk create them. Pretty slick stuff. Gen X is everything. At least we think so. They're like, leave us the fuck alone, and we're awesome. Why is Gen X so angry? Some of the videos on Gen X right now are just fucking genius. Never retire, lifelong learner here. Yeah, man, you just got to keep going. Like, why would you stop using this brain we're given access to? And honest to God, man, this is it's hard to overstate how fucking lucky we are to live at a time where we get to play with this shit. Like, think about it. The past 70 years of computer infrastructure and innovation has gotten us to the point where some fucking nerds figured out how to point those machines at all of the output of humanity, or at least as much as we can see on the internet right now, and turn it into like this blob of knowledge that you can just fucking tap into. Fuck. Like, holy shit. We're entering post sci-fi. Do you realize that? Like, what this shit is like, this shit is like the holodeck. Like, this is the foundational shit for the holodeck and curing cancer and curing genetic diseases and curing climate change and solving the energy crisis. Like it's all fucking in here. And like and like Sam Altman put it in a format that 100 million people signed up to use it in 6 weeks and forced every other company on the planet to go, holy shit, we got to do our version of that. So the advancements ain't going away. It ain't getting uninvented. So we're at the very beginning of a transformation of humanity. Like, holy shit. We get to play with this stuff. I mean, it's I don't know. I like when I hear people that are like, well, I hear it makes mistakes. Oh yeah, okay. Have you used it? Well, so what? It wrote a poem. Have you tried to write a poem? Have you tried to make 2 words rhyme in every line of 16 stanzas ever? It's fucking hard. It'll take you 2 hours and your poem will suck. It does it in like 2 seconds. I don't know. I don't get how people don't get how big a deal this is. I mean, listen, some obviously do, because 100 million people are like, this is something. For a new person doing GPT, which one for copywriting? That one, the one floating over my head for all of the lives that I do. That's the one. That's the one. That's the copywriter. And if you can swing it, pay for GPT-4. And if you can't afford that, use GPT-4 at Bing.com. Just Bing.com's chat is GPT-4. But GPT-4 here is the copywriting one. It is staggeringly powerful. Is this the dude? Sorry, I've got a boxing match on. I'm waiting for some dude who's undefeated. He's knocked out 14 of 14 people that he's boxed, and he's boxing tonight, but he's not on yet. I thought it was about 30 a month. I don't know what you're talking about. ChatGPT is 20 a month, I think. Poe might be 30 a month. I don't know how much they are. I'm bad with money. If you pay for the ChatGPT Plus, you'll get access to the plugins. They have a decent copywriter. That's cool. Yeah, there's so many plugins now. I don't know which ones there are. I have no idea what a plugin is. I have so much to learn. Okay, Precious Crow, let's get you up to speed on what a plugin is. Hopefully, you're still here. And I'll teach you how to turn them on. So everyone who's wondering, is ChatGPT worth paying for? Let me show you what you get for your $20. So this is ChatGPT. This is your chat history here. For $20, you get that little graphic that says plus. Okay. And then what you also get is you get not only GPT 3.5, or what they call GPT Turbo, I think in the free version. You also get GPT-4. GPT-4 is just of a different level. There's nothing out there like it. And the one here at OpenAI is really good. But you also get Browse with Bing, which is basically GPT-4 connected to the internet. So one of the limitations of GPT-4 is that the last data in its core model is September 2021. So sometimes you'll ask it something that's like, as a large language model that, last did something in 2021. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So the one that's connected to the internet solves that, because if it can't find anything in its core model, it will go search the internet and then add that to the answer, basically. And then you've got plugins. Now, if you've paid for ChatGPT and you have your little yellow tag here, but you can't see that stuff, that's because you have to enable it manually. And how you do that, you go to your settings. And then in your settings, there's this thing called beta features. And you go there and you turn them on. So Browse with Bing, you turn it on. Plugins, you turn it on. So that's how you get access to them. Now, what are plugins? Think of plugins as like little tunnels out to the internet that do specific things. So when you choose GPT-4 plugins, you get this additional little menu. And in the menu, you've got whatever plugins you've got installed. But just because you have plugins installed doesn't mean they're actually activated. So in any given chat session, so when I log into ChatGPT and I'm going to do something, if I want to have GPT help me with a meal plan, I need to actually turn on the plugins that are related to that. Or if I want to do travel, I would do that. Or if I want to have it read a website for me, I would have it do that. So you install plugins, and then in any given session, you can enable up to 3 of them. So I'm going to do one here that is just kind of a fun one called Prompt Perfect. So we've got one plugin here called Prompt Perfect. And if I go look at what it says, type the word perfect before your prompt, and it'll craft the perfect prompt every time. So now I can come down here. If I type in the word perfect, And then I type in a shitty prompt. Write me a short story. That's a horrible prompt because it's way too generic and it'll give me crappy output. It fires off prompt perfect because I put that as the first word. And then let's see what it did. So it changed write me a short story to please write a concise and well-developed short story that includes vivid descriptions, engaging characters, and a compelling plot with a satisfying resolution. Ideally, it would have added some sort of specific character asking me about it, but it's going to give me something way better than what I did. So ChatGPT knows, based on what you type in, if it needs to use a plugin or not and which plugin. So let's go fire off another plugin here that might be a little more interesting. So I'm going to turn off prompt perfect and I'm going to turn on, let's do, this is one I've showed here before. It's kind of fun. I'm going to turn on Instacart. Okay. So Instacart, the grocery ordering thing. So now I'm going to say, I want you to act like an expert nutritionist and give me a meal plan designed for intermittent fasting and low carbs, but don't be boring. And so now it's gonna come up with a meal plan for me. Sure, I can help. Here's a 7-day meal plan for intermittent fasting with low carb meals. The plan's designed for a 16/8 fasting schedule. Breakfast, skip breakfast. Lunch, grilled chicken salad. Dinner, baked salmon. Stir fry with a variety of colorful vegetables. Skip breakfast. Let's say I'm gonna stop generating here. I'm gonna say all of those are boring. Give me exotic options. So this is another thing you can do with ChatGPT is like, if you don't like what it gave you, tell it to give you something else. Moroccan spiced grilled chicken. That's good. Indian style shrimp curry, Mexican style grilled fish, Middle Eastern salad, Korean style beef. Okay, this is good. So these are fine. Okay. Now, notice what it did at the end here. It says, would you like me to create a shopping list for these meals using the Instagram plugin? Or Instacart plugin. So I'm just going to say yes. So all I say is yes. And now what it's going to do is it's going to fire off the plugin. It's going to understand the meal plan that was created up there. And it's going to create me a list. And I could have this stuff delivered tonight. This could be on my porch in a couple hours. And like, you can also open up these plugins and so ingredients, Thai beef, fresh herbs, lime dressing. So it sent a bunch of stuff over to Instacart. And then Instacart sends back a list. Here's your exotic low carb meal plan. And I click on that. And then Instacart. Come on, Instacart. You can do it. Bang, bang, bang. There's all my stuff. Uncle Ben's ready rice. It's giving me bird's eye. It's giving me some awful crap in here, but Miracle Whip. Gave me Miracle Whip. White trash. You too can be white trash. I do. Loves me some Miracle Whip. But anyway, so that's plugins. Oh, and then let me show you one other thing about plugins. There are a lot of them. So if I go over here, I go to GPT plugins. I go to my list. So let's say I'm bored with all my plugins. So I go to the plugin store, and it'll take a minute to load here. And then if I click on the all button, It'll now show me there's 150 pages of 4 plugins each, or however big your screen is. That you might have more, but that basically means there's 600 of these things. And if I wanted to do something for what we were talking about, let me see if there's anything for stable diffusion in here. Yeah, Mixer Bot Image Gen generates AI images via DALL-E 2. Create perfect prompts for mid-journey and stable diffusion pictures. So I'm going to install this, and then let's go play with it, because this was something we were talking about earlier. So now that that's installed, I'm going to turn off Instacart because we don't need it. And then I'm going to say image of 70s. This is my go-to prompt. Muscle car in abandoned factory. Let's see what it does. I think this may actually send this prompt out to DALL-E and pull the image back in here. And then hopefully it'll rewrite the prompt for us. Here's the AI generated image. Also, if you're interested in exploring more, yeah, so what a lot of these plugins are, this is basically just an ad for their website, which is interesting. Let's go see what image it created and if it actually gave us. So it's kind of a crappy DALL-E image. It just gave us one and it didn't give us the prompts like it told us it was going to. So there's an example of a shitty, crappy, useless plugin. And there's lots of those. This is basically just an ad for their MixerBox plugins, website of MixerBox plugins. So a lot of the plugins are just crap. Don't be fooled by fancy graphics, because everyone can make fancy graphics now and make their service seem like it's not a giant steaming pile of poo-poo. But that was a giant steaming pile of poo-poo. Another very cool plugin using ChatGPT 4 is Stories. Yeah, Stories is very cool. It generates kids' books. Stories, though, like the images, like their image prompts are not great. They got some work to do on their image prompts, but it's a very cool thing. I wonder if this can write for papers, etc. I wonder if you can write for papers, etc. with this. Yeah, I think that you'll be able to do journalism, especially if you're doing things like if you use Bing that's connected to the internet, or if you use ChatGPT, both of those do citations decently well. Like it will give you an answer about a current topic, and then if it used a particular news source, it'll cite that. And there's going to be all sorts of tools built to do that really, really well. It kind of sucks at that right now, but I think it's going to be powerful. The other thing, I was on a panel with a guy who's been in the newspaper business for many, many years, and he was talking about an idea about you could take a lot of local political documents, like when someone applies for a building permit. Those are all public records, right? And a lot of what local journalism is digging up public records and figuring out what's actually going on there. Well, local journalism's been decimated by all these, national private equity firms buying up all the local markets and controlling the messaging. It would be relatively straightforward to create an AI journalist that went and looked at public records and wrote stories about them, based on how local journalists used to do it. That's a pretty powerful fucking idea. So it's not about the writing, it's more about the reporting, right? And if you could create tools that go to the public records, pull the public records, find anything interesting in them, and write those stories, and then have basically an editorial staff that's going, yeah, that's a good story. Let me dig deeper into that. That could be something that's really interesting. He's explaining stair-step prompting. Yep, little small prompts add up to big results, like Vice and local magazines. Yep, exactly. More you mold ChatGPT prompts, refine, have others do better, give it examples of your work. Yep, Kavruno, that's a really good point. Yeah. Think of a chat GPT interaction more like a conversation than writing the perfect prompt. And it is really good. Like if you want it to write like you, rather than describing how you write, give it a piece of your writing. Say, here's something that I wrote that captures my tone perfectly. Paste. Now I'd like you to write a story about chubby dogs that love meaty goodness in that style. And it'll do it quite well. It's really good at that. And then if it gives you something bad, you can go, no, you completely missed it. It's way too wordy and you haven't used a single metaphor. And all of my writing has lots of metaphors in it. Please rewrite this to be concise and use clear metaphors. Bang, out it'll come. like tell it, like smack it. When ChatGPT is bad, smack it and tell it's been a bad boy. You've been a bad boy. And it'll get better. That's badass. GPT-5 is going to change his life. I don't know whose life. I'd pay for a beginner workshop. Okay. I think we see you're talking. I think we see what you're talking about by the middle of next year. I don't know what I was talking about, but it's like I can't even imagine where we're going to be a year from today. So what's it going to be? July 1st. So July 1st, 2024. Oh, holy shit. So a couple of things. Check this. The technology is going to be fucking mind-blowing. GPT-4 will be probably fully realized, where it'll be multimodal, where it can understand images, and you'll be interacting with not only words but images as inputs. It will probably be, there will probably be a competitor to GPT-4 where one of these other companies is going to put something out that kicks the shit out of it, where all of a sudden we've now got even way more powerful tools. And July 1st next year, we're going to be 4 months out from the election. There is going to be such insane misinformation. There's going to be credible stories from the New York Times that are just fully fabricated, and no one discovers it for a week. It's just going to be insane. It's going to be fucking insane. So this, mark my words, this time next year, we're going to be buried in a mountain of misinformation and deep fakes and photos and videos that you literally can't tell reality from fiction. And then we're going to have amazing tools. And we're probably going to be sort of fully in the middle of employment disruption by these tools. Wow. Yeah, next year, this time is going to be insane. If you're thinking about taking a long summer vacation, next summer might be the summer. Take 3 months off and just go somewhere without internet access, and just come back when everything's on fire. If you see smoke on the horizon, that's the US. Oh my God. Wow. That's going to be crazy. Prompt engineers could be dinosaurs by the start of next year. Yeah. So what Rob C is talking about there is, right now everyone's talking about prompt engineering. Here's the deal. I feel like learning how to prompt and learning how to get these tools to give you what you want is actually really important to understand what these things actually are and what they make possible. But within 6 months, definitely within a year, a lot of that prompting is going to drift to the background, where like Prompt Perfect rewrote my shitty prompt into a good prompt. You're going to have tools where you just kind of ask it for what you want, and it will go figure the prompting out. You're not going to have to know all this sophisticated, like if you've played with Midjourney, where if you want it to be a horizontal image, you do --AR space 16:9. What? --, that means I'm asking you to do something. AR, aspect ratio, I'm asking you to do an aspect ratio, space 16:9, not 16-9. 16:9 is a 16:9 aspect ratio. You're not going to have to do that shit anymore. like all of this bizarre like prompt engineering shit is going to drift into the background. Now, if you want to work building tools that do all the cool shit, you're going to need to know prompt engineering. So it's not a bad skill to learn, but a lot of the stuff that's on the surface right now that we have to learn, you're not going to have to do. So if you're in a place where you enjoy geeking out and getting geeky with it, great. Learn prompt engineering, learn LangChain, learn Google Colab. If that kind of shit makes your head hurt and you're like, I just want to go crawl into a ball and like suck my thumb and drink some wine and have pudding, then just wait for 6 months or a year. The shit's going to get better. Do what you can by just typing words into that thing, and don't beat yourself up if you're not brilliant at the tech shit. Because the tech shit is just, I don't know. Well, I mean, listen, that's going to change as well. Like all these engineers, this shit's going to do it for them. A lot of it. I lost my place in my little comments here. I think I've been in here for like, how long have I been in here? 2 hours? When did I start? 7? Yeah, I've been in here for 2 hours. I can tell when I've been in here 2 hours because my ass gets numb. I need to get a stand-up desk at home. I have one at work. I just don't have one here. I got to sit up straight. I got to move my shoulders. Like everything's fucking all locked up. All right. Let me see. This dude is legit. I'm in my 40s and I'm tired of seeing only 20-year-olds using AI. Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, man, if I were going to hire someone right now, like a late 40s, early 50s, creative director that's AI literate, like all day long over someone younger. And not because younger is bad, just because that person's seen some shit, right? And like older people are just going to be able to look at the output of these tools and more quickly curate them. It's actually one of the concerns I have about sort of the coming automation of knowledge and creative work is the jobs, the functions, not the jobs, the functions in companies that are going to get automated are the jobs that are historically the entry-level jobs, right? So if you're in an agency in the art department, the entry-level jobs are go iterate these 200 versions of this Photoshop file, right? Go change the aspect ratios, go pixel push, right? Or if you're a copywriter, go write us, 100 different versions, inspired by this headline, whatever. Those are the entry-level jobs, right? And that's where they learn the craft, and that's where they learn the politics, and that's where they learn how to navigate the organization. If you automate all that out, where do young people enter the workforce? And I don't know. Like the only thing that I can think is, so if I go back to the scenario about the person I'd like to hire right now is someone who's got 30 years experience and is AI literate. Maybe the entry level job is you pair the young person with an older person. So it's like a mentor-mentee relationship where they're both AI literate, but the older person's got the world experience, and then the younger person goes along and learns about curation and taste and refinement and so the younger person is learning kind of, I don't know, higher level skills sooner. They don't have to do the bullshit soul crushing work for 4 years before they earn the right to be able to do something interesting. Maybe you pair the young person with an older person, and then they're both just doing amazing fucking work because the tools are remarkable. But I don't know. I'm like that the entry level thing is the one thing that I can't get my head around. Where do young people enter the workforce if all of the historical entry level work is automated? I do not know the answer to that. I've been using AI since 1998. I was a satellite guy in the Air Force. That's the thing. For someone like you, someone like me probably drives you fucking crazy because I've not been in AI since 1998. I was in the World Wide Web. I had one of the early web agencies back then, but again, I wasn't developing things for the internet, right? I was the guy that came along when Tim Berners-Lee created the World Wide Web. And I said, oh, you can make a page with little hyperlinks in it that go to other pages. Let me start an agency that just does that shit. I wasn't doing protocols and all the underlying stuff on the internet. So someone who's been doing actual machine learning and AI, it's a thing to remember. This AI stuff is not like a year old. It's like 30 or 40 or 50 years old. But ChatGPT, just like the World Wide Web, made it available to the rest of us, right? And because 100 million people started using that in 6 weeks, it obviously resonated, right? So we flipped to the other side of an inflection point where just regular people are now have access to these tools, and they're going to use it in ways, people like you wouldn't have imagined, since you've been doing it for so long. But it's a thing to remember that AI is in almost everything we do. It's in every Google search. It's every time you use your phone. Like, AI's in everything. But AI that we get to play with and fuck around with, that's new. We meaning non-technical. Keeps freezing. That's because I have Xfinity, and Xfinity sucks. Anyone here work for Comcast? Bite my butt. Serious, guys, I'm using ChatGPT for some crazy stuff. That's awesome. It's really exciting. I know. I share your excitement. I mentioned I'm in the military, 25 years. I have PTSD because of it. Yeah, I bet. That sucks. Created a PTSD program with ChatGPT. It's funny. There's a woman in the AI salon that's creating a game right now for like narcissistic abuse, like narcissistic PTSD. So I think that these large language models are going to be astounding at allowing people to work through trauma and so awesome use of the tool. Thanks for your service. Yeah, thank you very much for your service. Now with the plugin, you say, ask me some questions to personalize the story. Oh yeah, with the stories plugin, it's pretty slick. All right, I missed the name of the plugin. Can anyone share the name of the plugin? Which one? Which plugin? There was Prompt Perfect, which I showed. There was Instacart. There was whatever the shitty one was. Stories is the one that makes kids' books. What can I do to get all the statistical facts in a YouTube video presentation listed? What can I do? So I don't know how to get the statistical facts, because if it's only showing on screen, it might not capture those. But there are plugins. So if you go to the plugins, there are a whole shit ton of plugins right now that will go read the transcript of a YouTube video. So it's not actually analyzing what's on screen. That will come. Like, that'll probably be here within a year. But assuming what's on screen was talked about, that'll be in the transcript. So all the plugins right now, you can just go point it to a YouTube URL and say, tell me all the statistics that were mentioned in this video. Out it'll come. Put them in a table and compare those statistics with the current day statistics, and create a third column that, has commentary on the implications of the differences. Out it'll come in a table that you can copy and paste. Sounds like someone's leaving here. I think I have to run, but let me go check. Let me go check. Because he needs me to help carry this to the car, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Daddy duty calls. I got to go carry a coffee table out to a car, so maybe I'll come back later. But I'm a little crispy. My butt's sore. It's probably good for me to get some exercise. So anyway, yes. So Kavuno said, I scolded ChatGPT for being cliche. It apologizes like a good boy. Exactly. Tell ChatGPT when it's been bad. It will do you right. I hope this has been helpful. It's been a lot of fun for me tonight. I appreciate your comments. And as always, I really appreciate you hanging out on a Saturday night. Why don't you go out and have some fun now? Or go there and have your mind blown. Have your Kevin McAllister moment. Play with it until you have that moment, and then you'll be hooked. All right. Peace out, everybody.